Hey, I'm Duke on Twitch. If you want to support the channel and greensunzenith.com, you can find my Patreon, merch store, and singles store, where you can buy singles through TCG Player or Card Hoarder in the video description. If you want to get in contact, you can also find all that info in the description below for things like donation deck lists or just wanting to reach out. Alright, let's get right into it.
Hey team, welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with BANT 1.1. Thanks to That Maverick Joe. That Maverick Joe has donated to see BANT Maverick through Patreon this month, and this is kind of the second iteration, but the first of the leagues that I want to take it through. And we've only made some minor tweaks to the last list. We were able to go 4-1, which is pretty sweet. So I've just made a few little changes, which include Gaddock Teeg to the sideboard. Hey Panda, yeah, I know I've streamed a bit this week, but it's just been such a nice way to just not kind of just turn off for a little bit and just enjoy the evening while the weather is pretty grim. But yeah, the deck list is very similar. I think Surgical is the main change from the sideboard. We have 3 Endurance main. I was going to add the Force to the sideboard, but I kind of like changing things up with having the Surgicals as Graveyard Hate as well. For other decks, the Endurances sometimes relying on having a green card just is a little bit rough, but hopefully it's okay here. I've also gone back down to 22 lands with the 6 Mana Dorks and the 3 Once Upon a Times, which hopefully is okay, but we'll see how that goes. The Magpie was actually really good for the times we had it, so I did actually change the main deck copy of Outland Liberator to a Knight of Autumn, just because there is that interaction between exiling your own creature and then getting it back, so having the extra ETB effect is kind of cool. But we do have Liberator in the board alongside Gaddock Teeg, which we played on Tuesday night in Punishing Mav, and it was a little bit rough in the main deck with Prismatic Ending, but otherwise I think Teeg is pretty solid. It's just a hate bear against some of these blue-white control decks. And then Ajani I really want to test out because I think this card is actually pretty sweet. For those of you who are unaware, Ajani is a 4-mana walker, but you can get it down turn 3 or turn 2 with a mana dork by paying 2 life for its extra cost. And then you actually get to pump up your team before it dies, which is kind of cool. So I think Ajani's pretty sweet, pretty hard to Prismatic Ending for the 3-color decks that might have a 4th color in the mana base somewhere, but yeah, really looking to see where this deck can sort of grind out some games. Otherwise, that's really it. It's really it. We'll see how we go. Take our turns pretty slow. We're playing Joe Bant, Legacy, yes, nice. Just played a league with D&T, which is cool. It'll be up on my YouTube probably this weekend sometime. But yeah, it's pretty sweet. Got a 4-1 with BANT Mav Monday night, a 4-1 with Punishing Mav Tuesday night, a 4-1 with Nihidepts last night, a 4-1 with D&T just before, and hopefully we can get that trophy, because there's nothing I want more right now than just to finish off a league on a high. Would be pretty cool. But yeah, it's been really nice to change up decks. It's been a bit of combo, bit of mid-range, a little bit of Delver, but not as much as some might think. But hey, a big thank you to StephX and Comradian for the follows. Hope you're both doing well. Legacy's in a pretty good spot. If you don't like Delver, it's kind of sucky, especially at competitive events, but the leagues have been pretty impressive at how different they've been. If I quickly have a look at Twitter. So, played against on D&T 8cast, a BANT Amulet deck by Interplay. It's a very cool deck. Blue-Black Shadow, Bug Control, just like Bug Midrange. Elves. On Punishing, played against Ouphe spells twice. Death and Taxes, Nihidepts, Khan Echo. On Punishing Fire. Sorry, that was Nihidepts. On Punishing Fire, we played against Nihidepts, Mono Black decks, Jund Loam, Mono Green Post, and BANT, D&T, Blue Red Delver, Mono Red Sneak, Doomsday Elves. So A bit of elves, a bit of depths decks, but otherwise pretty solid. A lot of different decks. Hey Jack, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Very cool for Melbourne to already have the dates out for Eternal Weekend. Looking forward to, yeah, hopefully those events not being capped. Maybe all 3 events being at a external location. Will be pretty cool to see. Always good to come down, play some Eternal Magic. Also really good to watch the recap of the Legacy Pit Open. The production quality is really good. It's awesome to see it all on Twitch. Just slowly make my way through each match. A lot of cool decks. Good to see Doomsday do well. I saw Ramar had a really good run. They have confirmed they're looking into that. Very cool. That's awesome. Right, VCF. Alright, well this is a pretty easy mull. One of those nights. Yeah. Big fan of keeping hands with solid mana, so I am gonna mulligan this. Okay. At least we have Uro to kind of get back into it, so I don't mind keeping this. It's probably Noble and a land here. It's definitely close. I want the Uro, the Swords, the Green Suns, a land, so it's between these 3. Yeah, I don't think the endurance line is worth considering. I think it's these 2. The ones can find a land and the Green Suns can find a Dryad Arbor. Opponent is on 6. Nice. Drop. Green Suns for Arbor. Potentially got to go and fetch Savannah, which turns on Swords next turn. And if we draw like Wasteland, we can take out like a 1-drop and then also go after whatever they draw. Okay, that is a 3rd land. Pretty happy to go for Savannah here. Tundra is definitely interesting. I think just having up like Endurance mana is kind of nice. Definitely feel like a nice set of Teferis coming down this turn. Okay. Jeskai. I think with the hand that I have, I kind of hope it's a mentor deck. No, I really hope it's a mentor deck. If they do nothing, I probably just put the Blast Zone up to 2, then potentially up to 3. Hey Vigo, you should be able to see it on the Cardboard Live functionality, which is over here. Shuffle. Hey Star Fox, welcome. Okay. Hey Papa de Goosh. Jeez. I wonder what this deck has to win. If it is Murktide, if it is Mentor. I would assume we see Mentor in this deck. Ending here just makes me want to put this up to 3. That's a card. But I assume for some reason that they have either removal Pyroblast. The downsides of playing BANT Maverick. Hey, Too Kind Bush. Green. Okay, so it's gonna be 4 color. Minsk. That is a pretty good way to kill me pretty quickly. Do I have Caracas in the deck? Hey Norway. I will show you in a second. You should be able to find it through !Decklist. Take out Teferi, untap. Not great. Nice. Definitely not winning this game, but I do want to get some more information just to see what they have. But discarding a card every turn pretty much to Minskin is pretty tough. Yeah, I think probably Punishing or like Red Splash is currently the most powerful version of Mav. But it's definitely cool to see people wanting to see different versions. Could have Swords in response, but I'll take one more draw step, see if we can find Caracas. But yeah, I do like the even like a green-white deck with just a black splash for Grist and potentially Prismatic Ending is quite nice, because then your mana base is really solid as well. This. Guess I can Snap Pyroblast it, which is pretty tough. Yeah, Colossus is definitely interesting. Still quite nice against something like Delver if you get her down early enough. But against a deck like the Prismatic Ending kind of style decks, it's a lot easier for them to deal with. Even like Bounce with Teferi is pretty brutal. Could just play another Minsk here potentially and pop Boo. Yeah, nice. Alright, 4 color. This is going to be a tough one. The blasts are really nice. The carpets. The Ajanis. I don't mind Teeg. Ouph's an easy cut. I don't mind going down on some number of Hierarchs either. Mainly for the carpets. Can see swords coming out. Hey, hi, welcome. Ice-Fang. Pretty medium. Ramming up really nice, looking at the mana base. Knight of Autumn can most likely come out as well. I think that's going to be it. Yeah. I don't think I need any Artifact or Enchantment Hate. Like, they're not a Back to Basics deck, they're not a Blood Moon deck. Could be playing Sylvan Library, but we have Hull Breaches. Prismatic Endings. I wonder if they play Wasteland for Karakas. Potentially. Pretty nice hand, I'll keep this. I don't necessarily need to find a mana dork off the once. Could just hold it for one more draw step and then play it before Thalia. Disruption, pressure. I could see a mana dork being pretty nice here. Probably just the extra fetch land. I don't want to ramp here. I think just holding the Green Suns is a little bit better. Nothing, wow. It's pretty nice. We get to play Karakas here, attack with Thalia, then just hold up the Once Upon a Time. Honestly, I'm in no rush. I don't want to tap down on the Karakas there. Opponent really playing around a back to basics effect. No forest, which is interesting. Narset's gonna be fine. I'm gonna fetch out Dried Arbor here because then we can kill the Narset. And then just Once Upon a Time. Hull Breacher would be kind of cool. Endurance is pretty nice. The counters haven't come up yet, but it's kind of nice to have. Even little things like a Knight of the Reliquary coming back with no lands in the graveyard comes back as a 4/4. Even something like a Thalia is pretty sweet. Not dying to a end the festivities type effect. Oh, they're currently at 8 cards. I kind of want to see them discard more than play the Endurance. They brought in Surgical. Interesting. Hey Joe, very cool to see you. I'm not sure, it is only 60, so no, but pretty close potentially. I wonder if they go for Mystic Sanctuary. No. Actually, they need 3 islands for that to be in play. There is a world where I shouldn't have attacked with the Dryad Arbor, so I could hold up 3 mana for Endurance, hold up Karakas, and also hold up draw a card. Maybe that was worth more than just getting in that 1 damage. I think here I'm happier to go for... Endurance and draw a card. I'm thinking about any sort of land destruction. Like, they're playing a lot of basics, so they could play something like Ruination in the board. It would put them behind, though. We have Thalia out, so it costs 5. Which is pretty brutal. I think just getting the Trop is fine. Sanctuary, get back Iteration. The thing that I don't mind about this is that Iteration takes time to set up, and it does cost 3 mana, so it's like Iteration and a Sweeper potentially, but Swords that. Okay. I don't mind Green Sun's Fatigue here. Could also go for Sylvan's Safekeeper, but I kind of feel like a board wipe of some type is looming. 1 Safekeeper. I like Safekeeper because it takes so many slots away from having Mother Runes. Nice. No in-step Swords to Plowshares is pretty huge there. Iteration costs 3. Sure. This Thalia's done a lot of work. And Dryad Arbor, to be fair. Okay. If this is a shuffle, that's great for us. They chose to shuffle. Do they have a land drop? They do have a land drop. I think I'm happy to attack them here instead of playing the Endurance. To be fair, no, we actually just win here, I believe, because if they have Swords to Plowshares, we still have lethal. Unless they hit the Endurance. But tapping out on the Cradle here, and if we tap out on the Cradle and they try to Swords one of these, they can't Swords and Force because Thalia and Teeg work in tandem quite nicely. That if they tap out for Swords for 2 mana, they can't cast the extra spell. If they tap out for Swords, but then they can't cast Force of Will. So I actually think here, endurance is just game. Unless they have swords for the endurance. Because even if they force here, it's still 5. Pretty happy to target no one. Okay, this is fine. Now we could potentially draw into... Oh no, Green Suns doesn't do it. Oh, a Johnny? Yes! Ah, but it's 4 mana. No, but we can... 3, 4, 5, 6? Yeah, we can... 3 mana... Return Teeg... Play a Johnny... Nice. And then distribute 3 plus 3 is 6. Nice. Very cool. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that board. That is a nice board. Alright. They brought in Surgical, which I'm not too sure what they're trying to target. Maybe they think we're on depth, potentially. I didn't really see anything that I want to change, I don't think. Like, I don't think... The main question is, do I need, like, an Outland Liberator effect in the deck? My initial thought is no. I could see just, like, going down to 1 sword, seeing that it looks like their main win-com is Boo. But just in case they're playing, like, a Mentor plan, I do want to have 2 swords. Like, with only 4 removal spells in the deck, you don't often see all of them. I think I'm just going to run this back. Hey Joe, too kind. Too kind. I keep saying thank you. I don't know how to keep... Thank you. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated for the gifted subs. Too good. Too kind. Wiltron, Shades, HG Fox, Raisin, Soft Nun. Welcome to the team. Hope you're all doing well. Alright, let's get this game. Let's get this game. Ooh. I don't mind this. It is a 1-lander, but we have, 2 ways to ramp, which is quite nice, so... These games go long as well, so... Nice. Ooh, just. Let's go with Carpet. Nice, and then second main phase, we can use its ability. Make some green, play a Hierarch. No swords, cool. The only dirtily thing about Carpet in this matchup is just the triggers and having to actually take the time to say yes or no. Haha, yeah, those kids being Maverick. Ooh. We're gonna make some blue mana here. Play a land. Go for Breacher. This way I have to have like a Pyroblast. We can hit it. Terminus. Probably should have seen that coming, potentially. I think I like just holding up Blue Blast here more than the Safekeeper. Nice. Well, they played the land. That's really interesting. Not sure why. Especially when you're trying to most likely get a land off the iteration. Alright. It's Hullbreacher time. I think I'm happier just to pass back and hopefully draw a land. Nice. There we go. Now I can hold up Blast and Hullbreacher. Pretty happy just to cast here. Ooh. There is a trap here that I don't have another blue source. Tundra Trop. Oof. Okay. I'm going to play this pretty patiently. They're going to go for Mystic here. Sure. Get back Expressive. Sure. It's pretty huge. Ooh. I will just pay for this. Okay. Okay. Not too impressed with that. I don't mind attacking here, because if they have Snapcaster, I'd rather they Snapcaster this right now than Snapcaster Expressive Iteration. And they don't have mana up for Endurance, so... Okay, they know about this though. Opponent maybe thinking about like swordsing it and knowing what happens when you swords it. I kind of like the land 2, 4, 5, potentially get to 6 for Uro. A Surgical Flooded Strand, maybe just to get the Snapcaster. I guess now they know about my hand, but Surgical going after that instead of Uro is kind of nice. Now they're down to 0 cards as well. Sylvan can go bottom. I don't mind just going for Questing Beast here. They have 1 card left. Questing Beast just stalls the board really nice. I think here I just want to try to dig for a land. Ponder's pretty good. Tough. Maybe keeping it Hull is better. Definitely a tough one for BANT. I think they're just kind of the better BANT deck with the red splash. But Surgical's interesting. I probably wouldn't bring in the Surgicals. I think you have a pretty good matchup that you don't really have to worry about too much. Especially with like 4 swords, 4 endings, Mince to Fairy, Snapcaster. Surely there's better cards to keep in. I guess it's a free... Yeah, like maybe it gets like a Bolt deck. Like if it's on Punishing potentially. Because then you can take out the Punishing Fires. You can also, for free, pump Mentor out of Punishing Fire range. Should have double spelled. Yeah, maybe like holding up the Hull Breach is just better. It's tough because if we hold up Hull Breach and they're drawn to like Brainstorm, then they can just respond to us. Instead of Green Suns, yeah. Like maybe the Readers force... I think if they draw a land, they probably just keep it in hand as well for Brainstorm. Yeah, pretty tough. I mean, it is like a deck of good cards, so I guess it's pretty hard for them not to hit something good that isn't a land. Yeah, maybe Uro find a creature, or find a land, play Hull Breacher. Yeah, Venom. Alright. Oh. Yeah, pretty sweet hand. Pretty happy to keep this. Not too sure what our opponent is on. Yeah, it's very true, Joe. I like that a lot. Well, they chose to shuffle pretty quickly, so I'm actually going to take the draw step here and then once to dig a little bit deeper for Wasteland. No Wasteland, but that is fine. I think after this match, I might restart MTGO as well. Shredder's gonna be okay. Not playing around double days because I kind of hope this just goes through and I get to play the Dryad Arbor this turn. Well, they are going to force it. In that case, I will play the Savannah and pass, and then upkeep I'll hit the Shredder. I could Prismatic Ending it, but I'm not too scared of Murktide. They did just force that, so I feel like they don't have another threat. That's potentially why they shuffled with the Ponder, because it looks like they hit their land drops pretty easily. Keep your peepers on it. I had once upon a time crash my games last night. Ha, tough. How do you find elves as an MTGO deck? Is it pretty good? Oh, is this just Murktide? That's a yikes. I guess we have Green Suns for Lagrella? Down the road. I don't mind just Dryad Arbor. Uro? No. I could just build up my mana here and make sure that this Green Suns can get Lagrella. Pretty interesting. One's getting removal, one could get something like Knight. Way better than in paper because of all the shuffling. Nice. It's very true. I'm actually pretty happy to just to fire off the Uro here. Especially while they're out of Pyroblast. Like a daze on this would be more than fine. And a Caracas means we can actually return it. Sweet. So the nice thing about Lagrella, I'll probably keep saying her name wrong, but she does take the counters off the Murktide. Alright, 2 cards for my opponent. One is Delver, and one is land. Okay, well now we're in the clear, which is really nice. We can even go... actually, I probably just want to hold up the Karakas for Lagrella, so let's go like this and knock it in the 2 damage. Nice. Now we're really well set up to have Uro and Endurance. Yeah, our opponent also knows about the Uro. Really nice. Delver. The Carpets and the Elemental Blasts. Ouphe. The Library's definitely interesting. So, usual strategy against Delver is to take out Library because they can be pretty aggressive with how they attack. They can obviously bolt you out of the game. So taking off cards from Library can be pretty tough. However, if you're bringing in removal, then you're going to be dealing with their creatures a lot easier. We're not doing that in this case, but in a version where you play something like Path to Exile, then I've always considered leaving a Library in. Knight of Autumn's pretty easy. I like taking out Questing Beast just to lower the curve as well. I don't mind staying up on Mana Dorks, even though we're bringing in the Carpets, just because they do target them pretty heavily. But I could see a Noble Hierarch coming out and just keeping with this. It's pretty nice. Quick think. Yeah. This is the issue I found with Blue Zenith, funnily enough. Oodles of draws? Classic. I am not keeping a 1-lander versus Delver, so pretty easy mull. Yeah. Really want good mana, and I'm just not getting it, but there comes a point where you just have to keep. I don't think a 4 is going to get there, but this has some stuff. I'm just going to get a basic here, which allows me to most likely play Thalia next turn. Okay. I think here I'd rather play Thalia than Prismatic Ending this, just to get it into play as a 2-mana spell. I know about the Unholy Heat, but I'd rather them tap out for Unholy Heat than Wasteland me. Okay. Wow. Huh. Unholy Heat. Probably while I'm tapped off the Karakas. Oh, Lightning Bolt. Interesting they kept the Unholy Heat. I don't mind getting Bird here. Just in case it survives, it means that I also have a blocker for Murktide down the line. I think if I untap with mana, I'm just going to cast Endurance in my turn at sorcery speed, just to keep a Murktide off the field. Ooh, but they might just have it this turn. No. Going after that mana. Wow, really go after my mana. They're really digging for most likely a land and a threat. Slowing them down with silence is pretty interesting. It's tough to cut for it. The only tough thing about silence is that it doesn't stop the actual threat. Like, it does slow it down. I think my opponent has surgical and they're trying to think if they want to surgical something. That's fine. Wow, no force is pretty huge. Okay. It's getting to a stage where I just have to endurance this night to get rid of their graveyard because of how big Prismatic Ending would be as a threat. Yeah, getting days for Sanctuary would be pretty brutal. They play Bauble. Okay. Yeah, I just have to keep them off Murktide, and I'm not going to cast those spells anyway at one land. Like, if maybe luckily we'll get this Hull Breacher into play, but otherwise, not too bad. Like we have, oh, that's actually quite good. Submerge. 22 lands, 6 dorks, 3 once upon a times is pretty nice. I think you could add another land if you wanted to, but I haven't had too much issue with it. I don't mind 23 lands, especially in a pretty heavy build of man, people love people love surgical tonight. You don't need. Yeah, with so many 3-drops in the deck, I don't mind the 23rd land. That's true. At least I can't double spell. Yeah. So I guess 20. I guess that includes Dryad Arbor as a way to get to 3 mana on turn 2. But yeah, I mean, with the Ajani build, I could even see just 6 dorks. Like, I think turn 1 creature is just so good. It's kind of what gives Maverick the edge, is that mana acceleration. So having another way to get a mana accelerant on turn 1 than having a 23rd land, I could definitely see being pretty good. Yeah. I don't think we have a way to get back into the game. Pretty happy just running this back though. I could see the extra Noble, especially with how aggressive they were on Unholy Heats, etc. Yeah, I don't mind that, Joe. I think Ice-Fang's very cool. It's just tough because the deck does want to go for jewels early on to turn on kind of like drawing into everything, so it can be a little bit awkward to get the snow-covered plains, but it does seem pretty cool, especially in a build that's like built around it. Like if it was like a Snow Maverick deck, but it's tough to like, yeah, it's just tough to fit it in. But Lagrella's been chef's kiss. Hey Whiskey, sorry I missed you before. Been playing a lot of Naya Depths. I found that weirdly the games I turbo out on turns 2 or 3 or lose a lot. If they have an answer, I just get rid of 2 lands. Should Lage be a plan B for decks that are not combo? Yeah, I typically, against like Swords to Plowshares decks, I tend to go for the mid-range plan, and then see if you can get into a situation where you can Green Suns for Safekeeper. So decks like Blue-White Control, or Blue-White X Control, Death and Taxes, Maverick, the Mirror. Like, typically the Mirror is a pretty bad time to go for the combo, but with Sylvan Safekeeper, it's very easy to protect it, which is nice, because you have both protection from creatures, lands like Caracas, obviously instants like Swords to Plowshares. So against like actual combo, I try to combo out as fast as I can, but otherwise, yeah, typically the mid-range plan is where I want to be. Good question about competitiveness as well. That's always a tough one. I think that right now, having like an I Win button in Depths with the 2020 is really nice, and Maverick's I Win buttons like Collector Ouphe and Gaddock Teeg just aren't as big of a button as they used to be. So that's always a tough one. I think the big thing is that Depths can just work towards the combo, and then if they need to, then you can work towards having something else. I think I keep this and just go off the once. Like, is that greedy? No. We're doing it. 2 really good interactive spells. Thalia is great on the play as well. But yeah, Ajani has been really cool. I think Ajani, I'd love to try like main deck and maybe max out on a little bit more like non-creature hate. Yeah, it's great point, Star Fox, at like buying into sweepers. Alright. There we go. Oh no, we didn't find a... Oh god. That's all good. Didn't find a green source, but that's fine. Oh. Surely they hit us. I guess they're playing around Stifle, so they're going to wasteland and upkeep. There we go. Rewarded. There was never a doubt. There was never a doubt. Too good. Second Thalia is pretty cool. Nice, take that. Please bolt it. Oh, nice. That's really good for us. Come on, fetch land. Bang. Bang. Imagine if Thalias weren't legendary. I think the downside of not being Caracasable would just be so good if they stacked. Like First Strike, non-creature spells cost more. They can have... No, I'm gonna blast this. I think this is worth blasting. I want to keep the swords for Murktide. And I feel like Thalia is taxing EI enough. They're also missing land drops, which is great. Like a wasteland off the top would be insane. Okay. Prismatic's quite nice here. Blue Blast is really nice. I think Blue Blast is great because it's a really sweet answer for Minsk in the 4-color decks. The issue with Blue Blast is against Naya Depths. Minsk is the only target, so you can get stuck with it in your hand at times. I'm probably happier to get rid of this than once. I think over the past week, Thalia has been the most impressive. Like, she is from Innistrad. It's a pretty old gal, but she's been putting in the hard yards. 2 mana Ponder's fine. Yeah, so I think that Naya Depths is really nice because it has that I win button of the 2020, and you can loosely pivot towards combo hate through graveyard hate in crop rotation for Bog or Endurance, or maybe Caracas saves the day. So you kind of have the plan of on the route for the 2020 and then pivot at the last second if you really need to. Whereas Maverick is very more proactive of what's my opponent going to do next turn? How do I need to set up my turn this turn to actually get that traction? Endurance? Oh, Blue Blast, thank you. I love this card. I love this card. If they untap in EI, I'm gonna be so happy. That's fine. Pretty happy to once here. I think once finding Endurance is exactly what I want. Ooh, close. Ramanap's pretty sweet. Ramanap, get back lands. Blast Zone deals with this, but I do have the lands for it. What do I want to do? I think it might just be Ramanap. So I could play Ramanap and then get back one land. I think here I just want a Prismatic Ending and hold up Blue Blast. Because if they EI next turn, then we can Blue Blast tapping off Karakas, because with one land open, they can't do anything to the Thalia. Hey, Elo. Hey, very cool. Yeah, that's actually a great point, because I didn't play Thalia either in Punishing Map, because you do have the higher number of non-creature spells, and Ouphe does keep a lot of unfair decks in check, which is nice. And then the Fables and the Minskers just really outgrind the control decks, where you also think Thalia is quite nice. But if this Thalia goes all the way, I'm going to be very happy. Please. Please add red. Maybe there's going to Murktide here. Okay. A little bit annoying. I could Swords it, but I kind of want to play around Daze and just untap. Oof. No, I actually like that a lot. No, I don't. I just want to keep going with holding up Blue Blast. Force. Pitch Expressive Iteration. Okay. That's fine. Tapping out to blast there. Sadly, I can't blast the blue spells. Shredder. Okay. Has to be Force, right? Ugh, another Force. Yikes. I did get rid of two expressive iterations, but at the same time they just have like lethal on board with flyers. Take 6, go to 8. Like we're in bolt range, which is pretty tough. Ooh. I actually like return here, I think. Now it's really tough. I could Endurance myself and then tap Cradle to Green Suns for 4 for Lagrella, but that's a tough one. Once doesn't do anything. I think I am dead, but we will see if this works. Actually, I don't need to do anyone. Tough. Really tough. I'm going to quickly restart MTGO. I could definitely see like Part 2 Exile on the sideboard to really shore up that matchup. Like that was even a game where no EIs were cast and Murktide just kind of finished us off. Which is pretty brutal. Like to be fair, I also died with a blue Elemental Blast in my hand when I used the Swords to Plowshares, I believe, on a DRC. So I could have saved the sword. I just thought that holding the blast was better to stop an EI, but they didn't cast it. But yeah, you could definitely see a Maverick deck that plays Saga and Reclaimer, but no punishing. I think that FP Paul's played a deck that would probably be similar to that. That was just like a green-white ramp deck that looked pretty sweet. I can quickly find FP Paul's. I believe he played it in the showcase. Similar to this. This doesn't play Saga, but I could see Saga in a deck like this. It obviously works quite nicely with Field, just being another card type. But you just want to make sure that the mana is consistent. You do have Boo for this as well, but this is pretty sweet. This is kind of like a deck between... I'll put this in the chat as well. Kind of between like a Knight deck. It actually doesn't run Knight of the Reliquary, which is really interesting. But you kind of have Reclaimers to fill that role, and it's nice and cheap as well. So I can see where like just having the extra Titania and Minskers and the Endurances as your main 3-droppers where you get a lot of your value. Right, let's bounce back. I can never get the pronunciation right, so I just call them FP Pauls. But I mean no harm. I mean no harm. Dooges, yeah, Dooges is a good one. But yeah, tough. Maybe yeah, maybe like a Path to Exile is worth it in the board. A Path to Exile or two. Especially because it's just mana that you can get off your basic planes, which is quite nice. Like when I was actually playing around with the mana base before, and I think what I wanted to do was potentially add a 4th basic, being a second... Where are we? Joe Bante. A second... no, it's just Joe Maverick. Snow-Covered Forest. Should be kind of cool. I actually wouldn't mind the extra Snow-Covered Forest over the Ice-Fang. Just kind of cool, and then having the 4 basics is just quite nice. I don't mind this. A little bit slow, but it has Prismatic to start off with, Ice-Fang to draw into cards. Ramanap with land is kind of cool. Pretty hard to just drop this. I'm going to play the Tundra because it gives away the least amount of information about Maverick. But we're probably done here. Reanimator. I like the Surgicals. It looked like a mono black deck, so I'm actually not going to bring in the blast effects. I don't mind a Liberator. The Force of Vigors are interesting because they hit Animate Dead quite well. Can take out a lot of the grindy stuff. Prismatic Ending also does hit Lotus Petal and Animate Dead. Obviously, if they have an Animate Dead down, it's a little bit tough. I could just see like like 2 forces over the Animate Deads. Even for something like Serenity, it's quite nice to have. Just have a quick look again. Yeah, like Blast Zone's pretty dead. I could just see like a Prismatic Ending just for Blast Zone. If they, especially if they have like a sideboard plan of like Rotting Regisaurs, just nice to have another out to some of their like lesser creatures. Really nice hand. Like I don't think you could ask for a better hand. Like having Deafening Silence and then a backup of Endurance green card and turn 2 Thalia, like really sweet. I think I'm also just going to start off with that Tundra that we showed, just by Fetch Tundra. So they Thoughtseize themselves and then probably go land, try to reanimate. But we do have Endurance here, which is really nice. So like, we had the like God Hand and it nearly got beaten as well. Like we had to have this. Alright, so we know about Verdant Dark Ritual. The only point of playing the other Deafening Silence is Wear Tear. I'd probably rather keep it to have something to discard to Archon of Cruelty if it comes into play somehow. But like, they do have the mana to like, you know, get a Grief into play, which is pretty brutal. Unmask. I don't mind getting rid of the reanimates, but as we get them down, I think it's actually worth just... Yeah. I could also take out the Endurance so they can't reanimate my Endurance. I think that's actually better. Just take care of this one and then let this resolve. Oh, they're targeting themselves? No! Always look who they're targeting. Always look who they're targeting. Okay. We're good. We're good. We're good. That wasn't a punt. That was not a punt. We do have a, like, Lagrella to get out of it as well, so we're all good. It's fine. There we go. It's fixed. It's fixed. Nothing bad is happening. Nothing bad is happening. We're all good. We're all good. I thought that was a sweet play as well. I was like, oh, I can Surgical myself, take them off Endurance from getting it into play. I'm actually just going to Endurance here to get rid of the Grizzlebrand and also to speed up our clock. Okay, there we go. That is classic. That is classic. On the draw is just kind of pray. We don't have anything like Mindbreak Trap. We do have Surgicals and Endurances. I guess I could bring in a green card just to have for Endurance over the Prismatic Ending. I think that's fair. Can you imagine if we open up a hand with Endurance and Outland Liberator as the only green card? That's, yeah. That's, like, I've done it before. I will admit, I've done that before, where they've targeted themselves, and I've done something, and then I didn't actually have to do that. Apologies. Apologies, guys. It really depends on the Once Upon a Time here, finding Endurance. I don't think that's good enough. No, I think there's a better 5. I'm pretty happy to mulligan aggressively for Hate. Even though this hand has a plan. They went to 6. Okay. Put back a Knight. Probably just put back both Knights. And then just keep turn on Deafening Silence and hopefully find Endurance off the once. I'm not going to once here. On the off chance that Endurance is on top of the deck, or Surgical. Okay. Swords. They have 2 cards left. I think I'd rather hold up Swords here than Deafening Silence. Okay. Nothing. Okay. I guess they can't even grief themselves and then put something into the bin, which is nice. They can looting. Okay. I need to hit so well here. Oh, show and tell. That's a hit. They put no creatures into the bin. Land. Oh, wow! I did not expect this. I probably no. To be fair, with no shuffle, I'm just paying life here. And just holding up this mana. Grief is only opponent correct. They go for Grizzle. Interesting. I feel like we have a lot of outs to Grizzle, which is kind of nice. Like Karakas as well. Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Put on top but pay for the once. And then we want to shuffle because I want to see one deeper. I'll attack first. Two, three. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe I wasn't supposed to get the Dryad Arbor. It does give me the mana straight away, but I can't play Endurance this turn as well. So is there any reason to once here? No. I guess like if the only hit is a Mana Dork. Ouphe we took out. Ouphe we took out. I guess we can find a land with this. That's their one spell for turn as well. Find a wasteland. Take them off blue, I guess. It takes them off show and tell. That's their one spell for turn. Oh my gosh. There it is. There's your boy. There's your boy. Never didn't have it. Never didn't have it. Oh my gosh, what a game. How did this turn around? Oh. We are on the board. We are on the board. Pretty classic. On the scoreboard. On the scoreboard. Hey, Smell the Lotus, thank you very much. Speaking of... Smells fresh. Smells fresh. Opponent's draws were abysmal there. Sure. Another one-lander. Okay. Pretty happy to drop the island here. Keep 3 lands. Hey Fostling, apologies, what was I on when I played you? Oh. Oh, did they see my name and just drop? What is this? We going to 2-0? We going to 2-2? That's really sad. I thought I'd get a game out of that one. That's... Punishing Maverick. Tomorrow morning I'll put it up. So in just under 12 hours, if that's cool. I put out BANT Maverick this morning, which anyone here can find at YouTube. Well played. But yeah, tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning for sure. Paid actors. Yeah, thanks, Fifi. That is pretty classic. You want to show it how to go F in him tomorrow? That is very cool. Very, very cool. Nice. I'm glad to hear as well you have Legacy F&M. That's pretty dope. Win trading for 3-2s. I know. It's all about not allowing BANT to make the 5-0 lists and then just taking it to the challenge and up top. But yeah, I think just for someone like the matchups, like I could see Teeg not being in the sideboard, and potentially going down to like one Ajani and then just having 2 Path to Exiles. I think like having some sort of removal in the board for creatures is really nice, and then just taking out the Ice-Fang, added in another snow-covered forest would be kind of cool. I'm kind of getting the feeling that we're going to run this back, that we're going to play another league after this and just see how that new build goes. Because I'm not a quitter, and I don't want to finish on a 3-2 or a 2-4. A 3-2 or a 2-3. But yeah, it's just tough because like if you have a path against like a turn 1 Mother of Runes or like even a turn 2 Stoneforge Mystic, Goblin Lackey, there's a lot of cards that path turn 1 isn't great against, but in BANT you don't have great removal. Like you could play more Prismatic Endings, but obviously not hitting Murktide is pretty huge. I think you just need to take the hit that, you know, if you do have a turn 1 mum and your only removal spell is path, then that's just life sometimes. Yeah, there's a lot of game to those first 2, which is nice. The yeah. Leyline Binding would be pretty interesting. Like other than Moon, there isn't too much running around. And like I could see it with a splash for like a light splash for blue for blasts in the sideboard, because they hit both Blood Moon and Magus of the Moon, which is pretty sweet. But the tri-lanes are pretty sweet. Alright. Oh, last playing Alurin? Okay, they love... Okay, they're an Alurin player. So this will be pretty interesting. Yorion Alurin. Double Swords, I'm pretty happy to keep this. Even though it's just a 1-lander, we have 2 ways to ramp. Pretty happy to go after that. They chose to not shuffle. I don't mind being aggressive. Thank you. I do thankfully have... I'm not sure if I can actually work on this right now. I can. Forest. There we go. Island. Where are ya? Oh, there it is. And then plains. Nice. Snow, snow. Ice-Fang. This. Path. 4 to the board, -2. Nice. Little bit of a rough draw with the Dried Arbor, but it's all G. Yorion to hand. Okay. I like this. I think I'm just gonna bash with Beast. Swords? Chose not to shuffle. We do have Force of Figures in the side, which is nice. I think we're just going to get Knight online here. Play the other Hierarch. Potentially Green Suns for Magpie next turn. Oh, Leyline Binding. Nice. That's pretty interesting. Could play Binding in this deck. Like, probably not. A little bit, yeah. 2 and an Outland Liberator. Wow. Pretty good. Teeg forces Outland. I don't mind the carpets. Ouphe. Ice-Fang. Endurance isn't great. Oh, that's okay. Thalia's nice. Library's nice. Safekeeper's fine. I think anyway I should have responded to the actual recruiter in case they had a way to bounce it in response to Night of Autumn and then go off with the ETB of Night on the stack. I could see like maybe just Well, maybe the carpets aren't actually worth it. Yeah, it might just be the 1 endurance for like an opposing Uro. Okay. Trop Green Suns for Dried Arbor, and then we have turn 2 Knight, potentially Blast Home. We can also once first, which is cool. Oh, there's also Noble to keep the Green Suns. I like that a lot. Blue Elemental Blast is mainly there to hit things like Expressive Iteration and Minsc and Boo, and then also DRC. And then by having the Deafening Silences, if they're hopefully in play, you don't need traps, which is kind of nice. And then you can hit some cool cards like any sort of wish effects. Let's go for Trop. Noble. Outland's kind of nice because it's... I guess you could play the extra Force, but for a deck where there might be things like Force of... Yeah, I guess because like Back to Basics or Blood Moon, you have Night of Autumn for. That's fine. But yeah, I think the Blue Blast just serve a different purpose than the Flusterstorms or other. Nice. Force Pitch Aether Channeler. Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see another Force. I think I have one. No. Pretty good. So this is look at the top 4 cards of your library and put 2 of them into your hand. All good, Joe. I'll see if I can actually, if I still have credit to rent. So they didn't keep an Allurin, which is interesting. Just want to get rid of this Strix. Alright. I don't really want to tap up this Force of Vigor, so I'm just going to hold up the ones for end step. Another Strix. Don't pass. I can play this now. Nice. Tough. It's kind of like a black, well, it pretty much is a black EI, which is really good. Pretty interesting. They failed to find a basic? Interesting, they just wanted the shuffle. Didn't really mean to pass there. I should have forced the Pernicious Steed. Oh, I couldn't wait to ferry out? Thank you, there we go. That's why I didn't do it. That's why I didn't do it. We're LG. We're LG. I think I want to hold this for a Lurin just in case. I think we still know they have a Strix, I believe. Oh, there's an Uro in the bin. Yikes. just really outgrinded. I think like so many of the cards just replace themselves, which is really hard to keep up with. I just have to deal with this. Yeah, there's no, like I play this as a 4-3, but then they can just Yuri on, and I actually don't think I have an out. I actually don't think I have a an out. Tough. But yeah, I'm pretty happy to run this back. Or maybe at least, just because it's late, maybe just talk about how I would change it. But I do like having all basics, and I like having the extra basics in the 2 forests. I do as well like... I do like all the targets we have. The hull breaches have been okay. Obviously, you can't find them other than once upon a time, so you don't see them too often. But they are nice to have. I think they might be better in a version with Mother of Runes, because you just can protect them a little bit easier. But it's tough to be able to fit Mum in here as well, which is always fun. Hey, Carador. Yeah, found the playset, which is very nice to see. But yeah, I think another Force would be pretty sweet over the Outland, just to keep up with some of the more... just the faster decks of the format. Yeah, it's just tough because like I think each league now we've been Pyroblasted in game 1, which is what BANT is going to open you up to, which is a little bit tough, but other than that, it's been pretty sweet. Yeah, I just like the Liberators because you can bring it in against decks where they don't have a high number of Force of Vigors, like maybe like a Sylvan Library here or there, or a Back to Basics. Like I think it's really nice against, I guess you have the Knight of Autumn, but yeah, maybe the double up isn't really needed. Yeah, it could drop the breaches, like I could see a world where you go, instead of paths, you have leyline bindings, and then instead of the island, you could run a Bayou and then run a Leovold. And then you have leyline bindings that cost 2, and you have a Leovold, which still interacts with card draw. Or you could just run like Spiritual Labs, which have been pretty nice. Like having a 3-3 split of those is pretty nice. Like, kind of want the library in the 75 somewhere. Like I could just see something closer to this. I really like the 6 pieces of removal. I kind of like having like 6 white hate bears. The Safekeeper could be dropped. Yeah, Cradle's... I still think Cradle's fine in this deck because you have things like Endurance, which you can cast. It's obviously quite nice with Green Suns as well. You do have it for Uro, potentially. You also have it for, like, opposing Tabernacles is kind of nice. Could run Ooze in the deck if you wanted to. That's just another way to grind out. But having the Uro makes life gain pretty good. It's pretty hard to say, like, why would you run the Skoos over the 4th Endurance, or why would you run the 4th Endurance over 2nd Uro? Yeah, like, I definitely wouldn't mind having a 2nd library in here. Like, you could go with the full 4 Thalias, and then run 2 libraries. You still have 1 more card, so you could bring back the Safekeeper. Which is, I just really like having some sort of protection against combo decks that are usually bouncing things like Collector Ouphe or Gaddock Teeg if it's in the deck. What deck's Rajani's for? Any sort of mid-range deck, any sort of control deck. It's pretty nice on an open board. Just be ticking up and hopefully revealing creatures. Like the emblem's pretty real as well. I don't think I would ever get to the emblem, but it's nice because you can play it turn 2 off a mana dork and paying 2 life, and then a lot of decks just can't prismatic ending it, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, it's tough. Like the breaches are sweet, but like I could see a Leo in here, and then like probably dropping the island for a Bayou, and then you could run 2 Leyline Binding in the sideboard, which is a little bit tough, but hey, Moto Baggins, love the name. Vivian Monster's Advocate is another one that I've definitely seen that looks pretty sweet. Nissa Vital Force is another one that's kind of cool. The reason that I like Nissa Vital Force is that against the basic heavy control decks, it gives a roll to Wasteland, which is pretty nice. Yeah, could run the Bug Triome. I don't think I have a Triome, but yeah, definitely like, I think if I ran the Leo, I'd run the 2-bird 3 Noble split. But yeah, tough. Like I think I even picked up a Colosseum to play around with, because that's obviously pretty good with a you can't draw effect. Yeah, Cephalid Colosseum, but I think that's just a little bit too spicy for me. But it is pretty cool, especially in a build if you do have Leo and then also the Spirit of the Labs, because it is kind of a lock with Ramanap as well if you want to get a little bit all in. But that's 11:24 PM me talking. That's not real me. Yeah. You just finished Mono Red Painter and Paper. Very cool. Very, very nice. But yeah, like I think so we have 2, 4, 6. I reckon the flex spots in why did I double click? In this would be the Leo, of course, the Bayou, the 4th Thalia, especially with Once Upon a Time, the Safekeeper, maybe the 3rd Endurance potentially, the Blast Zone. I think that's like the 2 libraries, I guess. So 8 cards. I would actually love to build a deck that runs around Colosseum with like Spirits, Leos, Reclaimers to find it, Knights to find it. Yeah, that's the thing, like as soon as you start adding cards or adding like a color, like I think Grist is a great reason to splash black. It's also just a planeswalker you can find, so you could do something like this, like a really light splash. And then of course that Bug Triome as well is quite nice. Just like 4 Thalia out. The Endurance is still nice. Double Library still nice. 23 lands. Yeah. Like the bindings. Yeah, the threshold cost is big. A little bit nicer with Grist in the deck because you can get threshold online a little bit quicker. But it is pretty tough. But yeah, there's definitely something with like a BANT deck that lightly splashes black is pretty cool. Like that card before was insane that the Allurin player was playing. I really like that card. Especially at instant speed, just being able to hold it up. And I don't believe it draws cards either. You can pit for neg 4, that's very true. Shadow Prophecy. Yeah, Shadow Prophecy seemed pretty sweet. And like honestly a great reason to splash a color. Like up there with power level of Grist of like splashability, so. I sadly won't play another league just because it is pretty late and I do have work tomorrow, but yeah, I really want to work on BANT, and I really want to work on like a 4-color Mav with like a light splash of blue and black seems really cool. But yeah, as Carador says, like with Pyroblast as like a main deck card, it is pretty tough to be running blue in the main deck. Like it's kind of nice to have that virtual card advantage of turning off Pyroblasts, but yeah, definitely tough. But yeah, the deck list has been a blast. I do think there's a world where like Mav could play around with Leyline Binding. It's also very hard for Ure Delver to deal with. The issue is that getting the mana online against the Wasteland deck is pretty hard. So yeah, I'm gonna call it there. But I think yeah, Joe and I will do a little work behind the scenes for the next league and see what we come out with. But there's definitely something here. I think that extra land will definitely help from a basic standpoint. And then, yeah, going from there and, you know, maybe having one more piece of Graveyard Hate and then one more piece of, like maybe just the sideboard is this with another Surgical and another Force of Vigor, or potentially another Endurance. Just one more thing to have against Graveyard Hates would be pretty cool. But, alright guys. Dark BANT Maverick would be cool. Hey, Jittery. Welcome. Hope you're well. Love the photo with the dog. Yeah. Enjoy your nights ahead. You guys are more than welcome. I'm going to see who else is here, but before then, make sure you're following me on YouTube. I have 4 leagues going up this week, so they're all 4-1s as well. No spoilers. So they're actually pretty nice games, but I'm going to see quickly who else is streaming and send you guys over there. It looks like Tagoras is streaming some Modern Amulet, which is nice. So I'm going to send you guys there. A big thank you once again to that Maverick Joe. A huge thank you. I hope your family's well. Hope the kids are well. Hope work is not too busting at the moment. But yeah, pretty keen to come back and see how a deck like this can play out. So we'll see you there. Stay safe, enjoy your weeks, and I will speak to you all soon.